viewers, yes, another beautiful morning, and we're reaching you live from our Srtv studio here in London. This is Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Princess Cassie. As usual, I have with me on the show
Daddy Chris.
and of
Annoying guy.
course, we already have Abuja on standby. We have Kenneth and Mary. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, London. How you guys doing today?
Oh, fine. How are you guys today?
We are good.
We're good.
It's Christmas in the air.
Yeah,
Christmas in the air.
You know, I don't understand. As if I'm not feeling the Christmas here. Or we just, I understand now that we are in Nigeria. The breeze,
There's this spirit that Nigeria
something that comes with, that Christmas period. But I can't, anyway, the other time I went into, I left, I went from this area. I saw the street lights and all that. I took some pictures and all that. But home is Nigeria is where the Christmas vibes is, man. No, I don't understand. Maybe next month.
Princess is you know what? She's like somebody caged in one room and she's talking about this. That's why when she had been to since she came to London, she had not even been to London Bridge. Somebody, how can she know where Christmas is?
Said the other day, sir.
You know the funniest thing? If you want to see Christmas in London, now you go to Oxford Street. She has not even been to Oxford Street. You understand?
I've not been there.
So you see,
I have passed London Bridge. I just I did not come down.
we were just driving past. They said, Princess, this is London Bridge. That's what she has seen. And somebody said they don't see big Christmas.
Anyway, welcome viewers to the morning show, and of course we have quite a lot coming in from Nigeria today. There's a little I've seen the trend since yesterday where our service chiefs they did give us some of the reasons why insecurity is still persistent. Of course, this they blame on the judiciary. Kenneth. They blame this on you guys. And so maybe later you are going to tell us why I was saying things like this. But they are saying they need their own court so that they believe that the decisions of a judiciary over bandits or terrorists sometimes come back to haunt us the people. I don't know how true is that or correct, but this is what our service chiefs are alleging as of yesterday. And we have other issues as well. I don't know what's happening with the Lagos State governor. We've been seeing funds buying this, buying that, and we saw that I think they are trying to probe him, the state assembly, for spending so much money on trivialities according to them, things that shouldn't be. These are some of the stories we'll be looking at today, and of course today the most talked about student loan, we're going to be bringing the national president, Delta State University, their president there, and the national president, of course, of the student here to be telling us what's going on, how accessible this started, or what's going on with the student loan. These are some of the issues, and of course the measure as well. Atiku has been calling people, let's join power, there's strength in unity so that we bring down the stronghold of PDP, PC rather. And we know that Labour Party did actually give, that we have conditions, because say there's a saying, say if you follow devil eat, you lose long spoon. I think that's why the LP wants to, enter into some certain agreements with Atiku so that when that time comes, we don't see who sits here and who sits there or who will be standing during the 8 years. These are some of the issues. Although we did see that NNPP came with Atiku. I think they had a press briefing. They came together. They applaud Atiku for that move. But we are up to now. We've not seen Labour Party. Apparently, Atiku is not able to meet their conditions, and so. But let's see how that unfolds. These are some of the issues we'll be looking at.
Do you guys ever hear of Atiku without thinking of how he's going to win the election? I've never heard anything from that man other than how we're going to win the election. So all he cares about is politics. He can't even address the economy of the country. He can't say anything. So without him being president, he cannot contribute to Nigeria.
Baba, maybe that's what maybe that's what he's trying to do. Let's come together so we contribute better.
Better. Now we need their intellect. No, to be honest, some of them may have one or two contacts. They might have one or two solutions to the problem we're facing. They might even our insecurity problem. I read a very sad news this morning as I woke up of how somebody that was kidnapped in Abuja there, a banker, poor boy. They made them to pay them and they killed him. You
We've
understand?
seen,
That's the kind of miserable
we've
story to
seen,
hear.
we've seen a priest also recently in Abuja that was kidnapped. They paid the money and he was killed as well.
So is that how mean they can be now?
And then the
So
service chiefs are now calling us that why they blame it on the judiciary.
judiciary is not giving judgment or what?
Yes, that judiciary, some of these bandits or terrorists, when they are caught, instead of passing the right judgment, you allow them back into the society, and at the end of the day, they are still there hunting us down.
No, when we talk of terrorists, it's different from kidnappers. You know, a kidnapper
Are they
is a
not the same
criminal.
people, sir? When we
Anyway,
go to Borno, go to Katsina, go to Benue, Kaduna, even Kaduna Express Road, passing there is like another thing. And when you pass this same bandit, they will kidnap you and they demand so much money. Not fully whether this person is like one of them, they can't even eat well.
yes, Andy.
Yes, then at the end of the day, they bring the money, you still kill them. It's terrible,
It's
sir.
very sad. And that's what we expect people like Atiko who want to be president to say, hey, even if you even challenge the presidency on that we have insecurity problem, what are you doing about it? You understand? Supposing we do this and that, then he begin to talk himself into a position of relevance. All I ever hear from this man, and I want you to hear me, sir. All we hear from you is how you become president. Please help us. Nigeria is in trouble. If you are so intelligent, so good for Nigeria, let us see it. You can do it now till you become president in 4 years' time. Abi, you won't change that today. Do something so that we know you can actually perform. You see, this is the same thing I said about the same, what they call the Labour Party man, who's my man. You understand? Peter is a productive human being. Peter, help us. You understand? Even if you cannot help, if you don't want to help Nigeria, go to a few states that are loyal to you. Because Benin people voted for you. Let's say Edo State voted for you, Peter. You understand? Today, if you had gone to Benin and make Benin your own, Edo your own, and begin to bring your productive ideas, working with those people, you don't mind who is the governor now. You understand? You want to work with the Benin people. Let them know that you care about them. Then your support will remain. Now, you see, we've lost Edo State. PDP has taken over Edo State because you people are inactive. Or the only time we're going to see you come from the woodwork again when election is near. Who does that?
But I think, sir, it would be fair for us to have states being run by PDP, APC, LP, and NNPP.
It will be lovely, but they don't. Is this how Peter going to win Edo State by disappearing? He won the election there. He has disappeared. He won Delta State where we have the vice president from the state. He's not there. Even if Peter cannot take his own state, you understand? Labour should be taking all over the states now. You understand? Then we know. And we don't want one party system. We don't want this major bloody case. 3 of them were good enough. You understand? We need the 3. Because Peter, the Liberal, I call them, the Labour Party was a very good alternative. You understand? Just because we know PDP and APC, they are people that just change parties. You know, they move from one party to the other.
Even the Labour Party, where is Peter from, sir? Let's be sincere.
No, but at least,
even Peter Obi is
where
from
Peter
PDP.
From? So let's be sincere now. Peter is from PDP. Most of them.
Peter is from
some of
APC.
these people in Abuja, they cross
From
campaign
Abuja
from
and
PDP,
from
APC to LP.
this
So
is
it's the same thing. They are the same.
they don't tell me I keep quiet. You see that? Because of your attitude. But Peter, we don't say stop. I beg. It's now we love Labour because we don't want to see. We are tired, literally tired of APC, PDP. Labour was an alternative. Peter, you made it happen. I don't want to look at the past now. More than obvious. But let us see what Peter can do using the Labour Party to help Nigeria. You understand? And I said, you see, let me say it this way. Yesterday, we read on this platform how the Edo State governor is trying to put this together. That kind of idea should be coming from Peter. Peter should be leading a coalition of states, trying to do things. You understand? Then we know Peter is the man. That will be on the news. No only election matter. This is discerning.
But on a sincere note, maybe, just maybe, he was trying to be, all they care about is the presidency, and now they didn't get it. Everybody has gone back to sleep,
and that's why I'm fighting.
And so maybe that's the only thing they.
But then we don't know them. If this is who they are, then we're disappointed. Maybe they don't think. You understand? Because if I win a state, I'm not leaving the state for you because next year the next 4 years I want to have the state. And how do I'm going to get the state? I'm going to make sure because I got the support of people. I'm going to make sure I get the government. You understand? And you make an impact in that state, and next time that become your base. Or you think you're going to come back again and preach the same thing and maybe other young man must have taken over.
Anyway,
Because things will happen.
Yes, we move on quickly. We have quite a lot this morning, so we move on quickly.
We'll come to the measure later.
Yes, we move on quickly to some of the stories we have coming from our national dailies, and I'm going to start with the Punch. And these are some of the stories we have coming from the Punch. Main headline here says states spend 1.7 trillion naira on trips. Mills, others borrow 988 billion naira. And the rider says states borrow 988.48 billion from banks. Others in 9 months. Governor gets over 87 billion naira for security votes under the 97.3 billion division. All the stories are on page 23 of the Punch newspaper. And then we have a story here that says Ghetto in Paradise. Look at that picture there, so disturbing. Very disturbing.
That is where, in fact.
Ghetto in Paradise, Abuja People's Lane in Shades. Enjoy Dump's order. That story is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here as well that says FG revokes 1,633 mining licenses vast to sanitize sector on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. Nigeria and Germany sign $500 million renewable energy gas deals. And that story is on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. Insecurity. Army blames forest, demands special court for terrorists. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says $35 billion needed to execute concrete road project. That is coming from the minister Umahi, and that story is on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Vanda to die by hanging. Accomplice beg back 16 years on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. Sonwolu denies fraud. Assembly orders probe on page 26 of the Punch newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories, rather, all the stories we have on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Before we go into any discussion, look at that picture critically, because we see more of politicians, their brouhaha and everything on a daily basis. But look at these future leaders, look at these young children, look at these people.
And the politicians' kids, they come and they do graduation with their children in the UK, in America. They celebrate. And this is what they have at home.
I brought a lady on my show yesterday. She is the founder of Ray of Hope Empowerment Foundation. And when I saw some of the pictures, in fact, I couldn't put them. I got so emotional at the point on the show I was speaking with her. She was so emotional. She was about crying as well. She told me that within Abuja you will be shocked. I didn't know that. I think my former boss did a documentary in Abuja where we went to a community. I didn't follow them though, but in Abuja, like just 20-30 minutes from the city center, within Abuja on that airport road, you enter into one road and go inside. People were not wearing clothes. People were still opening, their bodies. Ladies walking. You will be shocked what is happening in the Federal Capital Territory. And then this woman did say that if you go to some schools, the children sit on the floor. There is nothing like seats. Even the teachers used to come with little chair.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. If you go to your Delta state, we'll bring those images. Maybe we'll focus on that tomorrow. Princess, this is good. I saw one in Edo State. The place, at least this one have a roof over their head. There was no roof. So if it's raining, only God knows where those kids will be. And the woman walked in and he was teaching them religious knowledge. I say, hallelujah. Look at the first service he's teaching. He's teaching them religious knowledge. Only God is the one protecting them. Come on, please. You guys have it. Well, this is a massive issue. Kenneth and his government.
It's sad.
This is beyond government.
This is beyond this government. This is something that has been
this is beyond
the system needs overhauling. Look at people's children. They actually sitting. So let's talk about the Harmattan period, the cold, they are there on the floor, the odor, and then tomorrow when these ones grow up to be to start hunting you. Say, okay, we have criminals.
Exactly.
We have terrorists.
This is what you're going to get from people like this. What do you expect from them?
I do not get it.
No, Princess, what else do you expect from kids like this? Let's be sincere. What can you get from kids like this?
That agrees, you see, is a pity and is nothing to be proud about. But sometimes we also need to look at the fundamental issues when it comes to the educational system of Nigeria. We only have the labor union speaking about universities. This is one of the problems we should be talking about as a country. The funding of our basic educational system. There is something we call at the primary level is called SUBEB that
Yes.
handles, that intervenes in primary schools.
Yes.
We have
right.
a few intervention programs the federal government has designed over the years. I think there needs to be an overhaul of those programs to determine how much has been put in this program. Because I know that the federal government always makes allocation for these projects. This school, I just zoomed into the picture, and it's no brainer that this is a nomadic school. We have a school set up probably most times in the northern Nigeria and Abuja, some other places for, these are Fulani settlements. They don't mostly have places to stay. They're always on the move. So they keep schools where their students can always, I think it was Jonathan that started that idea. Jonathan actually did a lot when it comes to education. So he wanted to, bring in, those that were not going to school. That being said, is a problem. But I don't think it's a federal government problem. It's a problem that we should even be asking the Abuja Municipal Area Council. These are schools that naturally will fall under their jurisdiction. These are not federal government schools. These are state schools, state basic primary education schools that an average council could fund. There is no local government in Nigeria that does not get more than 100 million naira a month. So there is no reason why we will still have schools in communities, in constituencies, where we have people that represent them in the Federal House Assembly, in the Federal House of Representatives, and of course in the Senate. And the only thing they do is to fight for constituency projects to go and sink borehole in their villages. When there are issues that far more outweigh those problems. So as much as we want to say APC, remember that the problem in the educational system has started not just from the APC, but as way back as Obasanjo's regime. So there is a problem we are trying to face as a party. I'm not going to speak for my party now, but I'm saying this is a big problem, is a disgrace, is a shame. But let us start calling out the appropriate people. There are institutions that are funded for these projects to make sure that these schools are running. If the teachers in this school are being paid. So if government has the idea that there are people teaching here that should be paid, then they should also know that there are facilities needed to run these schools.
But you see, the painful thing here is, this is why I'm confused. A local church, if you go to those places now, you see local church running successful schools.
Thank you.
At least the children have roof over their head, and they are successful schools, and they pay maybe 20,000, 30,000. It's only when you're very rich that your child will go to 400,000, which is the one I'm complaining about. You understand? So I'm saying that if the government say it is too expensive, do you guys still want to give us loan so that at least when the child grow up, he pay? That would be a conscience to judge. But if Nigeria is that poor, at least let us make it not to be free. Let parents pay, or even let them be scholarship from communities. You understand? To pay the basics. Children cannot go to school like this. It's unacceptable. In fact, this is a shame. Big shame. And I want to thank Punch for once for revealing something, in fact, more than the top headlines. You understand? This is interesting. You understand? This is disturbing.
For me, I'm always of the opinion that the defense budget will always have 800 and something billion, 600 and something billion. 20% of Nigerian defense budget should be invested in basic education. Because it is when you don't train the people well, even the Bible says train up a child in the way he should be. The Bible did not say you should train an adult. This is a child. And if a child has been trained in a harsh environment, the child will be a monster.
It will be harsh.
Monsters. So we should not focus our defense on asymmetric alone, on buying weapons, on putting soldiers on the ground. We should also have a plan to even start to inculcate the hearts of people, to start thinking. These are children that tomorrow if you tell them Nigeria is Nigeria, go and take bomb and bomb Nigeria, they will bomb. Because they don't have anything they've ever get from the country.
Yeah, they are recruitable. These are kids you can recruit.
I I want us to look at this paper, the front cover, critically. Now, look at the main headlines and compare what you see there with these children below. And we are seeing states spend 1.7 trillion on trips, meals, others borrow 988 billion naira. And
If I,
we see security votes. You have seen the security votes of governors. And of course, look at the whopping amounts they spend on meals, trips, frivolity trips, of
thank
course.
you.
That's the money.
And
Princess,
then
thank you.
look at these children.
Princess, thank you. You see, I always say this, and Daddy Chris might not understand when I say this. A lot of time we focus our activities on the federal government that Tinubu has just signed 6 billion for feeding in Aso Rock and Aso Villa and the rest. States has already spent 1.7 trillion on trips and food for state governors, for state officials. For me, in fact, 65% of Nigerian problem is at the state level. The other 30% is from the civil service. The federal government just has only 5.
No, I agree. I know. In a way, I have issues with our governors. In fact, if you know what I was at loggerhead with our former governor, you understand. And I am looking at the activity of this one. Maybe you see, maybe Nigerians and even the press should learn to bring out the activities of states. I don't know whether these local newspapers they dare talk about their governors, because the governors are like demigods. You see, from their attitude, there's no democracy. No states have democracy in Nigeria. They handpick their local government chairman. Yesterday we were talking about what happened in Plateau State. You understand? If you become a governor, look at Edo State now. This man, he has handpicked all the governors in Edo State. As much as I like him, I think he's thinking smarter than most of the governors. But he has handpicked all the local government chairman. What do you expect from such a person? If I handpick you, that is one. Whatever I say, you do, and that is exactly what is happening. If you see the conscience that they don't have is that, princess. How can a governor that collects about 1 point something billion on security votes allow children to stay like this? How much does it take to run a school? To run schools, primary schools first. Let's leave the secondary one. Primary school that the governor cannot sacrifice something for. And they come and tell us, Nigerians, we don't ask the right question. Kenneth, you said it right. We're going to look at Tinubu alone. Tinubu is our problem. You don't look what the Borigori is doing in your state. You don't ask yourself what Obaseki is doing and what Sanwo-Olu is doing. Sanwo-Olu budget alone is bigger than the one of, in fact, he said it himself, that the Lagos state economy is bigger than Kenya.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have that huge economy and you cannot change lives, what has the federal government got to do with it? You know, the amount Delta State received the highest, always in some subsequent years now, highest allocation from the federal government. Go and look at Delta State. The idiot only use our money to want to win the election. He was the one bankrolling the PDP elections.
Oh, yeah.
It's been our destiny in Delta State. In fact, our former governor, Boni, did it. He bankrolled this other one, Yaradua. And now this one is bankroll Fedo Atiko. Only we don't know what the other one will do tomorrow. Because once they become governor in that state, they become so rich. From where, Kenneth? This Okowa came like a rat. Look at him now.
He's a billionaire. 30 billionaire.
They all own banks.
It's quite disturbing.
They all own their own banks. Banks. That is the first thing. There is hardly a state governor that doesn't own a bank in Nigeria. Do you ask who own all these banks we look at?
It's quite disturbing that this is the same country, this is the same world, but I feel like it's a different world entirely.
Agree.
These children and this
headline. You're the right princess to point that out.
Be in the same
because
world.
if you look at this, look at the state really spending that amount of money. Are we in the same society?
Yes, I don't want to believe we're in the same world, because look at these children and look at their whooping. And this money they spent in 9 months, not even up to a year. And so what have they been doing with the trips? Where do they go to? I've not heard about one summit or something one state governor has done. They spend so much, wasting so much resources. It's sad and it's painful as well that we find ourselves in this kind of situation. Anyway, there's a story here that says federal government revokes 1,633 mining licenses vast to sanitize sector. I think that's one sector we are not looking at critically as well in Nigeria. There is much more to mining than what meets the eyes.
Yes. And that's why I'm focusing Nigeria with 2024 on mining. You understand? It's a big sector, and I'm just we've been opportune. Let's have been opportune to sign this MOU with the women in mining. Mining is not restricted to men alone. I think when we think of mining, we think of men bouncing, and they say no, mining. Women, Nigerian women are into mining, and there's so much. In fact, if Nigeria, there's no minerals we don't have in Nigeria, but like if we can take time and explore that sector carefully, it's another oil. You understand? This is why we say that Africa has it all. We have oil, Nigeria. We have minerals, solid minerals. That if they tell you how much, one, in fact, the biggest one, all the batteries, we have it. You know, what is it that we don't have? And but we don't look at it, Ken. And perhaps it's a very important thing. If the federal government, if there's a ministry for it, and I'm going to try and work with them now, see how we can let young people, you understand? Because I think the problem is the old people doing it. Let young people see the potential in it. You understand? Young people are not beginning to see the potential in farming. I want them to see the potential in mining, and maybe give them resources. When I'm talking resources now, one of the things they told me about is equipment. They need proper equipment to mine. And if those things are in place, you'll be surprised that a young man can make a fortune from mining than do Yahoo, rather than kidnapping us. If we don't direct their energy, divert this strong energy they use to kidnap us into something useful, we are in trouble. Unfortunately, they don't pick on the big boys. They say looking on the innocent one, the poor one like me, is the one they're kidnapping on the road. Look at that poor banker. They couldn't get to the senator. How do we do this? And the poor people are not listening. You see, the funniest thing is the trouble is not coming on the big man. It's coming on you and me. And you don't want to die, but you're dead. Tomorrow they kidnap you. You say you don't want to die. Okay, it's not your portion. We're going to know who in portion it be.
And I think that that sector, I think I actually love the fact that the federal government wants to sanitize, but because I feel like it's been left too open. That is one sector we can be.
You see, Chinese, they are the one doing it. Chinese, even they pregnant are women. Have you seen how many Chinese babies we now carry in Nigeria? Anywhere there's mining, go and look at it. We have a lot of Chinese babies. You know, people like these women, only God knows what to do with women in this world. You understand? They are vulnerable. You understand? It doesn't say what we say we go protect them, they say a lie. You know, sometimes the government have to intentionally make a law. Chinese don't impregnate those women in those mining areas.
I'm quite happy that the government is actually sanitizing it to this will enable us, checkmate the activities going on in the mining sector. And
you know one language there, I'm not to say this. The woman in mining, the president said, he said that please look carefully. Anywhere there is insecurity in Nigeria, if you look underneath, there is mining activities.
Of course.
When it is robust, look at it, you understand? There is mining activity. So who are those funding this insecurity we're
people
talking
benefiting from the mining, of course. And then there's a story here, Kenneth, that says Nigeria and Germany signed $500 million renewable energy gas deal. Something to applaud, right?
In fact, like I said earlier, under the renewed hope agenda, if you study that manifesto, you see that.
I haven't, Kenneth.
You understand that this government has already, come to the conclusion, the understanding that we want to sell what Nigeria has at the moment. Sadly, it is oil and gas. So we might want to use that as a comparative advantage economically to get the forex, and then while we try to stimulate other industries. If you notice, the German consul had already visited Nigeria. Then Tinubu also had a sideline with him at the last conference they attended together. So it is, and of course we know there's a war, of course, in Russia. So the West and the rest of Europe is trying to look for alternative energy sources. And I think this is something Nigeria should bank in. You see, I made a statement on Twitter sometime last year that probably the war in Russia could be a blessing in disguise for Africa. Because whenever there is problem in Africa, the West seems to, tap into it. They come in, there's insecurity, but they are mining. There's problem in Niger Delta, but they are collecting the oil. So if they want to fight a war, I'm not with them in the war, but maybe we should use that opportunity to show our hand that we can also sell oil to them. We don't care who's fighting. Whoever wants to fight can fight for whatever reasons they're fighting. But for now, let us do business and make money, because this is what they've been doing over the years. So my own is this: $500 million signed as energy deal is a good one, but we want to know what energy deal did we sign. Let it not be that we sign $500 million to import fuel from them. If we are giving out $500 million to sell energy to them, let us know how many barrels of oil they are buying, how many cubic feet of gas they are buying. That is where the National Rotation Agency, that's where the Ministry of Information, sometimes to me, is not doing enough. They might think they're protecting the government because they don't want everybody to know everything, because of course they're going to steal some money. That's settled, of course. But mine is this: if they tell Nigerians what we are selling to the West, it will give a relevance to what we sell to them. So they begin to understand that every Nigerian knows we are selling oil to you. So if we come to your country and you deport us, we'll lock up the oil. We'll tell you, hey, you're chasing us back, then don't buy oil. Because this is one of the strategies we used to see Muammar Gaddafi use that gave Libya so much prominence, and of course made the West to come for his head. Because when you abuse Libya's citizens, he will seize his oil. He will tell you, okay, no problem. You say we should not come, we will not come. Then don't buy my oil. Leave us, we'll run our economy ourselves.
Exactly.
So it's a strategy. But for me, I think we are selling to the West is good. But let us know what we are selling. How many
Did it say what we are selling? Is it the selling deal? Because they just signed a deal.
We signed a deal of
So
500
I want to understand.
renewable, and
Yes,
that is renewable.
Renewable. See, what I'm worried about is, don't be surprised that we are now importing, because the Germans, they have these solar panels they want to sell. They be coming to Africa. You need it. That is what Baba must have signed, because I don't think Baba is trying to look. We don't have shortage of sales. People want to buy our oil. There's market for it. OPEC is motivating that. We don't have a challenge with that, Kenneth. We have a market for oil. You understand? That's the luck we have. So we have that money. The question is signing this deal for renewable energy. For what? You see, when we say your president is doing this, I don't know the details here, so I will close my mouth a little bit, not to over-trash it. But I doubt if it's renewable energy. Is it gas? Is it petrol? What are you talking about, Ken? You see, this is out of it. Let us be sincere. What hope is this government bringing to us? You understand? And my pain is this. It's okay to say, let us bring in solar panel and all that. It may be useful for our economy. They want to give us some wind and all that to give us. We have that. But as they come in, are we ready to take up the technology from them? Or anytime we need it, we're going to contract them to come and do it, like we've been doing with Julius Berger? See, this is my concern.
If we are buying solar energy from the West, it's a shame. Because the lithium used in producing solar panels is in Zamfara. That is what they are mining in Zamfara.
Is that the funny thing? Kenneth, and the sun, we have more sun, more natural sun than the West. They don't have good weather. You understand? Now in Nigeria, your weather is constant 24/7, and that you don't even have solar panel in Africa. It's already a cost. God is angry with us. Baba, God is very angry. He's disappointed in Africa. No, it's a fact. You cannot give people everything. It's like you give your son everything, your children everything, and they are still hungry. They're waiting for you to come and pack the rice and put it in their mouth. Who do you think you should not to say, my son, put the rice in your mouth? There is some parents teach us. Mama will tell you, yeah, take your hand, pack and put for mouth. Do you understand? That is only what God is waiting for us to do. We are not doing it. And you're telling me we are happy that the Baba is signing some stupid contract. What contract? Let him tell us the details. Like you said, you have ministry information.
Just maybe we should see the information.
Yes.
And then we know exactly what Baba has done this time around. And then there's a story here that I want you to look at just briefly before we move forward. There's a story here that says insecurity. Military blames forest, demands special courts for terrorists. Do you think this will curb insecurity?
Insecurity. I didn't blame. You say you blame judiciary.
Yes, or maybe we want to leave that story for the other paper where you have more details.
Exactly.
And then there's a story here that says someone who denies fraud, assembly others probe. Of course, I saw that coming because we've been seeing news about someone since this week on Monday. It's been from one expenditures spending so much on rechargeable fans, vegetable, the president's portrait. I don't know where they did that portrait from that actually cost so much money from the headlines we saw yesterday. But I can't wait to see how this unfold. At least that means the state house is actually doing what they are supposed to do, not just sitting and looking like we've been seeing over the years. We move on quickly to the next newspaper, and that will be the Daily Trust.
And here the big headline says confusion over contradictions in CTC of appeal court judgment sacking Kanu governor. And here the writer say it's typographical error. Governors Council APC cheating. Only Supreme Court to interpret it, says Governor Yusuf's lawyer. And you can find all the stories on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And here we have another story that says reps indict NNPC, NBET, others over 14 trillion naira contingent liabilities. And you can find that story on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And here we have another story that says Oshun governor spends 2 billion naira on meals, welfare, runs office with 6 billion naira in 3 months. And here you can find the story on page 25 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Here we have another story that says uproar in Senate over minority leadership seats. And this story is on page 10 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Kanu stands still for Governor Abakari Yusuf on arrival from Abuja. And these are all the stories we have this morning on the Daily Trust newspaper.
I really don't know what our governors are eating. Eating, spending 2 billion naira on meals, welfare. I don't know. If anyway, look at this picture there. Kanu stands still for Governor Abba Kyari Yusuf on arrival from Abuja. That is quite massive. We can see that it's as if people love him so much. You can see the crowd there all over him.
Princess, a crowd in Nigeria does not mean he's loved.
Really? What does it mean then?
To get a crowd in the political dispensation of Nigeria is from the 3 billion naira you see governors spend on meals. When you feed this crowd,
Really?
that is where the 3 billion is going into. When you give money to unemployed people, they'll feed the streets. You see, let me react quickly to the headline that says confusion over contradictions in CTC. You know, the CTC actually is a certified true copy of the judgment. And what we're seeing now is that the certified true copy of the judgment, is saying a different thing from what the judge read out. So,
and they are saying it's a typo error.
Well, that is a legal term. Typographical error can always be used to defend, misspelled things on documents but when it's a certified true copy, it's not just something you print out from any printer. It is coming from the clerk of the court. It's not just something one cyber cafe in Maraba just designed. It is a court proceeding, and it is typed word for word. I don't know if you understand. No, you're not understanding.
Are you saying that this man does not have the support of the Kano people? Come on, let's be
that decrease. Everybody has support of Kano indigents, because the election did not end with 1 million to 1 vote. So even if he had 100,000 supporters vote for him, and the 100,000 are in the street, it's a massive crowd already.
I agree, Kenneth. You see, and this is where we're saying I'm not blaming the APC for of course they have right to argue this, and I feel sorry for the governor, because the fault we're talking about here is not the governor's making.
Thank you.
It's not the governor. It's INEC again that failed us. Do you understand, Ken?
In this case, it's judiciary.
It's judiciary.
Yeah, yes. For me, what my position is that somebody somewhere is playing a smart one. We have judiciary workers. It is not the judge that typed this document. It is a court clerk that typed this. And increase, we have cases in Nigeria where we go to court and then you discover that a case file is lost. It's not missing, it's lost. Because someone has lobbied a court clerk, and then the judge will sit down and say, call up the next case. They say, we're looking for the file. And this is the case that might have generated all the way from divisional police to the state CID to the prosecutor's office, and then the day it's supposed to come to court is missing. And then you have someone in detention that has to go back again to awaiting trial for over 4-6 months, and the case has to be built up again. And that is how the rich is able to subjugate cases in Nigeria. So for me, whatever has happened demands a serious investigation, because a judge will not sit down, go through a case, read out his judgment on the case, and then when a certified true copy, this is a certified true copy. Someone certified it. It is not just a printout. It's not something a newspaper release. It's called certified true copy for a reason, because someone had to certify that is a true copy. There is a stamp on it. And then the certified true copy is given a different reading. It's not just in the name, a different interpretation of the case altogether. So for me, APC as a party, we are not happy. I really encourage people to go in and investigate and see who certified that true copy that is giving a different thing from the position of the judge. This is how they subjugate cases in Nigeria. And what we're going to see now, you see the law is saying it's only the Supreme Court that will interpret technicality that has involved. Because when you go to the Supreme Court will work with the certified true copy at the end of the day. Supreme Court will not work with hearsay. It is the certified true copy of the judgment that it will be given to the Supreme Court judges for them to go through, look at the body of the case, look at the points raised, look at the reason why the appeal court came to such a conclusion. So for me, somebody is trying to play a very smart game. Of course, we know what NNPP can always do in Nigeria.
No, don't start. Don't start. Do not start. Do not start.
Whenever you see red cap in Nigeria,
we don't know what APC can do.
That the case we are whiter than white. A party that wears red cap. A party that wears red cap. We are whiter than white.
Whiter than white.
Yes.
Maybe one day you will strangle the Kennedy there.
Exactly. Because he knows the truth. When it comes to APC, he knows the truth. I wonder why he keeps on defending them.
He knows how to defend the government.
Mary, how can you expect Kenneth to know the truth? It's inside the APC. He's one core member of APC.
He's not trying to defend them. Man, he's not trying to defend them. He knows that APC is not
somebody that you're
when it comes to APC,
your mother is stupid or something.
Exactly.
They won't believe that.
No.
know. And so we understand. It's a core the APC guy. Anyway, we move forward to some of our other newspaper we have, and let's quickly go to the Vanguard newspaper. These are some of the stories we have coming from the Vanguard. We have here the main headline: why insecurity is not going away yet, service chiefs. And some of the writers says warders are 16 imprisoned Boko Haram insurgents to operate. That is coming from CDS. Says armed forces underfunded. Adds Finnish government protecting Simon Ekpa, and alleges Ekpa sabotaging security agencies' efforts in Southeast. And so these are some of the writers we have coming from the main story, and all the stories on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says a Rivers crisis. Two fractional assembly lawmakers hold separate sittings on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says, as governor, FCTA officials gave me fake seed of coal. And that's coming from Wiki on page 25 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says Nigeria's ring count drops 13% as oil output rises to 1.4 BPD on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says brutality frank. Nigeria doomed without restructuring federalism. Clark, Adebanjo, Asiodu, Anya, Akinyemi, Utomi, and others on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says overturning Kanu's Zamfara Plateau voters' decision in court unacceptable. And that's coming from Obasanjo on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here as well that says Senate in rounding session over leadership position. We've seen all the stories before, and from
when is this Rivers crisis? It's still there?
Yes, it's still there. And from the sport desk, we see 2026 World Cup qualifier. Rwanda hands Super Eagles lifeline, beats South Africa 2-0. Hey, I should pump champagne in this. Kenneth, I'm so happy. This
But if they beat South Africa, also we we have how many people in the team? We still have Rwanda to play, right?
Yes, that means we're not facing South African, right, Kenneth?
We're facing South
But,
Africa.
Is South Africa our problem?
Princess,
I don't even know our problem.
the thing I want to say is, why has the Super Eagles of Nigeria turned all of us
Like,
to
I don't understand.
statisticians and
Even
analysts?
we want that can do
The average Nigerian sports enthusiast,
Anyway, guys, hold that thought. When we get to the sport paper, I'm going to hear what you have to say on that. But I'm quite worried about the main headline here that says insecurity is not going away yet. I will see some of the reasons. This is disturbing that world is not assisting in prison Boko Haram insurgents to operate. How is that?
No, maybe I want to ask you a question. Kenneth, I want to ask you guys a little question.
okay.
Are you saying that those kidnapping people in Abuja are from the east?
East? No, sir.
And all the people kidnapping people in the east are from the north.
Not at all.
That confused me. You understand?
No.
This censorship blaming it on judicial. That's what I'm trying to say.
No. I think what the service chiefs are saying. For instance, let's quickly run through the main headline of the Nigerian Tribune, so you get a clearer picture of that story.
Okay.
Now that says insecurity, service chiefs blame judiciary for freeing suspects. That is one.
For freeing suspects.
Then two, expose how warders collude with Boko Haram suspects. Express concern over activities of Simon Ekpa in Southeast. Calls for special court to prosecute insurgents. I inherited battered police force. That is coming from IGP.
Good. We see these are reasonable stuff. But the question I ask is this: are we trying to really combat this security problem? Is it going to be? Are they trying to solve it from Abuja? Because these local challenges we're facing, these are local people tormenting us locally. That's why I asked that question. I am still of the belief that those people tormenting us in Abuja, they are people within the area there. It's difficult for a group from Aba to be in Abuja kidnapping people and finding a home. Because you have to have a place where you secure yourself. First, for you to go and torment, you have to have a home. Where are they doing it? It's the people that knows the ground, knows everywhere. After somebody that just came into Abuja.
They are not even hiding. You can see that in Nigeria, they are not sacking communities. They are even telling you we are coming.
No, because again,
these
are nobody was tormenting us there.
They're reading it openly. So I don't know why the security are telling us they cannot bring the security to a standstill.
Princess, first, let's understand who is dealing with us. This question again is, who are the people kidnapping people in Nigeria that can remain in Nigeria bush? Write later to you that, hey, if you don't do this, you won't do this. Locals. And you telling people from my village went to Niger State to do that? Where do they know that? How long have they been there? So I cannot move. I can just move to Abana and I begin to kidnap people in Abana. And for how long? You understand? Where do I have to stay in Abana? You see, these are the police are more intelligent than this. You understand? So I can understand the frustration, but this is a local challenge that requires a local problem, a local approach. You see, these are uncivilized challenges that require uncivilized solution. So many things need to be done if we want to smash this, and it can be done. But I really don't know what the service chiefs are blaming. The court is going to do. There's a way the court works. Court works with what is written in this. The punishment of this is this. They can't do anything about that. You understand? That the one that disturbs me is if the warders are not compromising with Boko Haram, maybe their life is at stake. You understand? Yes. Their life may be at stake. Because if you are the one keeping these people in prison, they go tell you, we're coming to your family. You understand? So let us understand what are we need, like I said, it got to be approached. Some of them are uncivilized approach.
And they're even telling you too that aviation for is another problem,
Can I quickly throw my weight in this matter?
Throw your weight, go ahead.
You see, in fact, the House of Rep is sleeping. Because on a good day, a service chief telling you that this security is not going away is a very valuable ground for you to remove him from the office.
Because it's shameful.
Because if
the people in charge are the locals, but you service chiefs, how many of them do we have coming to telling the Senate that these are the reasons insecurity cannot go away? So what are we supposed to do? We go to bed with our eyes open.
Princess, you cannot tell me that in Israel, the defense chief, after they've been attacked by Hamas, can come and tell Israelis that the attack will not stop. If you say that, you are getting out. No, you're not just getting out from the military and leaving the country immediately. Because there is no way someone that took a job, you came for screening, you say you can do the job, and then you wake up again and you say, this job I cannot do. Then you should get out from that place in the first place. You understand? Now they are look at the things they are raising. They say warders are assisting. Where is the military intelligence department? If the military intelligence department believes that the warders are assisting these people, why not infiltrate that prison system? Have your people as part of the Boko Haram suspects, get them detained, know the warders that are assisting. Warders are assisting. Which warder is assisting? Is a vague accusation that
It's
no
a
one can
stupid
prove.
one, sir. And a stupid one at that.
Then on another count,
Yes.
you even need to look at these prisons you are sending insurgents or if the people they are even arresting are they even the Boko Haram? You go to a village in Borno State after an attack, the military will come and pack everybody there and call them Boko Haram.
But people say that they are the locals now, so maybe
is
that's
that not the same thing we have in the southeast? Unknown government will come and attack a community. When they go, the police will invade there, arrest young people there, and they become the unknown government. So first of all, you don't even blame the judiciary because it's what you send to the judiciary that they will use in persecuting suspects. And at the end of the day, when you send people to the judiciary, you don't even have credible intelligence. There is no intelligence to show that this guy is a suspect. He received money from Boko Haram. He received training from Boko Haram. He received funding from Boko Haram. Do you know that in America, if you arrest a terrorist, they don't go to the normal prison. They are sent to Guantanamo Bay. So do we even have a prison that is designed for terrorists, to hold terrorists? You're going to send a terrorist to a prison in Kuje that the prison warder is living in Yanya or in Masaka, and he has to go home with the public transport system, and then he's interacting with the terrorists. So, even me, I will help them because I'm scared. Because if tomorrow I'm going home and someone kills me, nobody's going to pay my family any gratuity.
At all.
So if you're sending prisoners, there should be a special detention for terrorists. Because if you send the prisoner to if you go to Guantanamo Bay, the kind of prison wardens you have there, in fact, they are more terrorized than terrorists. If a terrorist see their face, you repent.
Anyway, hold the thought, guys. I already have our guest here.
But our guest is not coming
with us. Yes, I just want to let him know that we'll bring him shortly after our discussion. So I wanted to tell him that. Okay. Yes.
Send him a message.
Okay.
All right. What I want to say, we are still on this wonderful discussion. You said something. Something is very sad here. You understand? Court will not just put somebody in prison. Or I don't even support the Guantanamo Bay thing. There's something the police need to do. It is the job of the police to look for credible evidence that these people are the people committing the crime. If you bring somebody to the court and you say, "Oh, we think these are the one," or you go and pack every villagers there, I might shot some of them are not even your enemies. So if some police officer just say, go pick some of them and put them there, we want to know why you think it comes with facts. In fact, they use the word evidence. You understand? They're not going to just put the person in prison for that. And again, so are you saying it's difficult for the police to track those who are doing this? In that is the case, then they lack intelligence. Then we don't have a police force.
We don't have.
Mrs. There is even another thing I was expecting the military to talk about. They only focus on insurgents, on Simon Ekpa. Where are the founders, the financiers of these people? Because the moment you destabilize the money, you've already killed their operations.
That is true.
But these guys anymore. These guys are making money from us.
A financer.
No, Kenneth. What is like if these people now, this is beyond anybody now because they're getting money from kidnapping. You know what we can do is we don't pay them at all. Let them kill as many as they can kill. Yes. You understand? And that way they know there's no business in it. You understand? If anyone they get, we forget about him. We won't pay you. Kill us. Because this is the fear. If you continue to pay them, then they get funded and they come back. If you don't pay them, they'll kill. But how long will they continue to kill if they don't get money? You know, Nigerians don't want to die. I understand it's a hard approach. If I'm kidnapped, I probably want to pay and get out. You understand? But my worry is if you continue to pay, then you are actually fueling that business for them. And they'll keep coming back. It's lucrative business. So the question is, what is Nigerian government doing? There should be a better and a more intelligent approach to all this. I'm just talking like a layman now. You understand? There should be a more intelligent approach that can handle this problem. Because These guys are well funded. Somebody asking for 15 million. Where do the family get 50 million? But if they have that money, then they are well fed. They can get some more ammunition and they come back. There are a lot of people to kidnap every day. You just need to look for the right guy, hold him and say, you work in this bank, come. If you don't talk. And so it's very convenient for them.
In fact, I agree. You have a very big point. I think that was a policy the Americans used when they said we don't pay money to kidnappers, to terrorists. So even if you catch the American president, they will not pay you, but they will come for you, and you must die for it. You understand? And there is another twist to this story when with the Air Force saying they don't have enough aviation for. I think Nigeria needs to redesign our defense policy. So the Air Force is just telling us that if tomorrow the West decides not to import aviation fuel to Nigeria, Nigerian Air Force will just be dead.
Dumbass.
So is the Air Force with the billions of naira being allocated to them, has it not come to time when Nigerian Air Force, in fact, they don't even need the billions. They should put it in the budget. That as a part of our defense policy, we want the Nigerian government to build a modular refinery, refining only aviation fuel. We will sell to the public, and then the rest will keep to ourselves. In fact, it will help our aviation system. It will stabilize airfare prices, and the Air Force will always be sure because they own the refinery, or maybe they're a big investor in such a business. It could be a PPP arrangement, but they bring in a big chunk of the investment. Of course, Air Force has estates. They have other businesses they do. So why can they not invest in the same thing, the biggest component of the operation, which is the aviation fuel? And then you're telling us that aviation fuel is so we need us to add money. That the only reason insecurity is not going away in Nigeria is because Nigerian defense people are benefiting from it. The day they stop benefiting from it, it will die. That's my point.
That's all. And I stand with the RAY urging President Tinubu to declare a national emergency on kidnappings, terrorism.
In fact,
that is
it should be a state of emergency. On insecurity. Any reasonable president would have done that.
Yes.
Any reasonable president would have done that. You understand? Because the country is insecure and it will remain. And there should be a holistic approach, Ken. You understand? We have to find out because yes, if you continue to pay these guys, they will continue to kidnap us. But it's a big business. You understand? So they're not even looking for somebody to fund them anymore. They're making money. People collecting, how much do they collect on a daily basis in Nigeria? So and they are doing their thing because they're hustling. And again, it boils down to the schools we saw. If you allow children in that state tomorrow, this is a route to where we are. How can a reasonable person want to be a kidnapper? No reasonable person will be a kidnapper. You understand? I will never be a kidnapper. For what? Because if you neglect people, this is what I want to say, that the children of those we neglect might be the one that will come and kill us tomorrow.
That is the fact.
And that's where we are. You understand? In society, a white society will tell you can't give birth to children if you can't take care of them. And however, once you have taken care, once you have the child becomes government property. It's not yours. In the UK, if I don't send my child to school, I go to prison.
That is right.
For my child not going to school, the government will pay you for taking care of the child. They give every family for the child. Every child here is paid for him or her to go to school, primary and secondary. Then when you go to uni, they give the student loan. So you have no excuse. So what they are doing it. But if my child, with all the money I'm collecting, if I don't send that child to school, you know where I go? I go to prison. Because the government believe that if that child come out tomorrow, I will not be the person he's going to kill. He's going to kill our people. And that is how you approach this. These kids now, you telling me this one going to kill their parents? No. Sorry, kids. President is here. You understand? But if this is what we see, and somebody come out here, they're not going to hate their parents. Because their parents is not responsible. It's a society. And this is a society where you see people driving the best cars.
Not even the cars. When you see our governors spending billions on meals, what are they eating? Are they eating human beings? I don't know. Anyway, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, don't go anywhere. We'll continue with the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break. welcome back from that quick break. This is Wake Up Nigeria, and of course, we're still on the newspaper segment. We've seen quite a lot coming in from Nigeria, very disturbing stories as well. And we move on to other stories now we have, and of course, what's happening with Wike Kenneth? I'm seeing here that as governor, FCTA officials gave me fake C of O.
As funny
What
as
does that mean to us, the lady?
In fact, yes, Wike, kudos to him for always trying to be in the news every day. It's a strategy that works. When we did something in PR training, they said it's always good to be in the news for any reason, no matter what. So Wike is always there in the news. He said some FCTA gave him a fake CFO. Where are the stars that gave him the fake CFO? He's the FCT minister now. Has he been able to prosecute them? Have we seen any prosecution? If not, then that is just a media shamble. He's trying to justify his revocation of CFOs to demolish houses. Of course, we know the houses of his political, not so liked opponent, because he has the power now. He has the authority to demolish houses as he sees fit.
but he's working for you people now.
He
He's
is
working for
working
APC.
for Nigeria
He's
under
working for
APC government,
Uh-huh.
which of course we want to praise Baba for being a
Praise it, Baba.
No, Baba is a unitary president. That is even the reason why we in the first place. Without that, they should
Don't
not be there.
worry, we know Wike betrayed people for him. Don't worry, go on.
No, he did not betray.
He
Wike participated in an election that we won. We won an election, free and fair. But what I'm saying is this: Wike is just saying things to justify actions that will come. That is how I see it. Because of course, yesterday I saw a news that said FCT has already marked about the 76 houses for demolition, and of course it will be carried on within the week and thereabout. Over on my way, of course, to our studio in Kaladimawa, you could see a lot of demolition has already taken place. Businesses, clubs, a lot of places have been demolished. So what Wike is doing, for me, he's a lawyer, so I understand I understand the template he's using. He's just justifying his action. He's telling them, they gave me, even as a governor, they gave me fake CFO. So when I tell you that your CFO is fake, it's not fake. You understand? So if they could give me as a governor fake one, it means your own is even faker than my own. So he of course,
He's saying it's nothing personal, man. I'm doing the job.
that's just why he's driving to.
Somebody is just at least I have a case. Somebody is agreeing with me on this platform for once that the man on suit. Thank you, Bujo Chijoke. He said the man on suit is saying the truth. The kidnapping business is a lucrative business for both the kidnappers and those that gain from it. You understand? As long as we continue to pay, they will continue to kidnap. Good luck. That's a digression.
Yes. Anyway, thanks Chijoke for that. And quickly now we go to the Tribune, but I'm going to take just one story because we've talked so much on other stories from other papers as well. And then there's a story here that says why I approve Naira redesign. It says Nigerians hold leadership hostage. That is Buhari, our ex-dear president.
It'd be nice to hear you still part of that story.
Yes, I did say the other day, Kenneth, that he's not missing presidency at all. He didn't miss it so much. Of course, it's only when you're outside you will be shouting, I want to be a president. Oh yeah, enter now. Make me see how it is sweet, how it be. You don't see pressure before. So the man said he's not missing presidency, and of course, why I approved Naira redesign. But he says Nigerians hold leadership hostage. That is what he said.
They hold the leadership hostage. We
Right.
hear the details. Who was that?
The same way we are not missing him.
Kenneth, be nice. He is your party man. He is your party man. Be nice to him.
No, listen, you people need to understand. Buhari was just a candidate who had to use to win the elections. He was never the perfect candidate. It's a fact. You understand? What you're seeing under this new renewed hope agenda is a perfect president that knows what he wants to do.
Wow.
The only reason Buhari could have gotten so far, let me tell you the truth, was because of the nomination of the vice president Osibanjo, who was given to him, of course, by Tinubu. He had some intellectuals that were giving him, tips on what to do. Until, of course, his cabals and his friends decided to carry and the rest decided to now manipulate the government. But as far as I'm concerned, Daddy Chris, Buhari, thank you. You have tried. I am not missing you, and I can tell you, Nigerians are not missing you. We are dealing with your activities. All the errors of his government, that is what we are trying to fix in the New Hope.
Kenneth is not being nice to our dear ex-president. That is not nice.
Well, I don't even agree with him, because there are some things that government did very well, and I am still applauding him for that. I support the redesign of the Naira. Unfortunately, he wanted to remove the subsidy which the president removed. We shouted he would do. And let me say one important thing he did. He helped us to start producing rice. This current president is giving us palliative after taking oil subsidy. I don't know who is more intelligent here. Your intelligent president is giving us sugar to have more diabetes.
Under the let the poor breathe policy. It is not a long-term plan. Just
we have been breathing. And you can't say let's continue to better.
We expect about to correct some of his mistakes now. Let's assume, let's assume that the president was a little bit excited.
I really want to bring in our guest way too early, but he has been there for some time. So we have Whisker Monday Ogenewari. He is, the national president, the Association of Delta State University Students, or Delta State Students. Good morning.
Good morning, Ma.
Good
morning, everyone.
Like you, welcome. Yeah. So it's your time. You are in the uni. You guys understand Srtv better, so we'll be asking you a lot of questions. But we were just
anyway, we'll come back to you.
We'll come back to you. You're welcome. But if you have anything, you're free to say, because we're talking about your economy now. This is your Kenneth. This Baba must have made a mistake at the beginning. He overexcited. He got into office.
Not a mistake.
What was that move for, Daddy Chris? What was the move for? The move that subsidy would be a thing of the past, and then you start giving palliative.
And in fact, that's the annoying. In fact, I never supported government. And number two, it's not rice. We have started producing. Now you frustrated our farmers. Where would they start from? You understand? Now we're going back to depending on rice again.
At a point, the farmers are actually not doing very good. The rice.
Princess, if the government wants to support
the farmers are not doing good.
Kenneth, if the government wanted to help Nigeria, there's nothing wrong if they had use their own money to bring in some quantity of rice and use it as palliative, rather than opening the border for people to bring in rice. It's stupidity, Ken. If you want to solve the problem for a very short time, there's nothing wrong. It doesn't cost the Nigerian government anything to bring in rice, but in a controlled manner, and stop. You don't open border for that.
Then, Chris, you agree with me. We are not running a socialist government. We are running a capitalist and democratic government.
Thank you.
The moment government starts importing rice to share the government, that is socialism. It will not last. Many people will have their own opinion about that. So it's better you make it a free, fair market, because we know that rice coming in will drop. Remember what I said. It is not a plan. It is just a short-term, let the poor breathe policy.
Kenneth, you don't practice capitalism like we do here. The government protects their own products. In America, in fact, you see this man, Trump was angry with the Chinese government for devaluing their currency, because they now know that everything was going to China. Like I said now, the iPhone you're using is an American product, but it's produced in China. How sad is that? This is how Chinese are managed to take things over. What I'm saying is, American government were angry that this approach is affecting their economy. Now look at China today. So what we're saying is, if we cannot protect your own production, you are in trouble. You're in shit. Who's going to go into production of rice? If you're going to bring in rice, don't forget again. People producing rice here, they have machines, they have the technology, and probably they have some chemicals they used to mix those rice, you eat it, you call it the best. It might be neat, but is it healthier? Now, the one you produce at home may be done in a more difficult way with a lot more labor. You cannot expect the two to compete at the same price. Government is not stupid. If you want to, if today in the UK, if the quantity of food in the market is too much, government will buy them and keep them to keep the price at a level. That's what they do. That's why there's a national food bank. I doubt if Nigeria have a reasonable national food bank.
We don't.
So if hungry come today, we go to war, we'll die.
Yeah, your own.
Wow.
There is nothing as such as food bank. Even the ones they brought during COVID-19 entrance, you could see that some of these lawmakers had to stack them somewhere. And I saw this video then where in Bayelsa, people had to, they got to find out, and they went there, they broke into the place, they started carrying everything away. It's so shameful, Kenneth. And so sometimes when you come here to tell us let the poor breed policy, I don't think we want that kind of policy. We have been breeding for years and will continue to breed. Anyway, we move forward now.
They don't want that statement is an opposite statement.
No.
This is want to suffocate the poor. They want to say you're planting with three.
Like I said, our policies are like trees that will give oxygen to the Nigerian government.
Are you kidding me, Kenneth? Oxygen, what we use here.
Let's get Whisker. You have anything to say to this man? Say something on this issue, son. Yes. What do you think?
Okay. As regards the palliative, for me, I see it as another strategy or another means for them to siphon funds. Because the other time during the COVID-19 time, when they want to give palliative to Nigerians, we heard of several stories of politicians that were giving some set of palliative to give to the masses, and this palliative were hijacked and kept in their warehouse without giving it to the masses. So I think period like this, when this palliative comes, some of these politicians will just keep it in their warehouse, wait until Christmas period, then they share some few palliative to some persons with their name. Yes, they'll use their name that, like, as a politician, you are trying to be a philanthropist as well, giving it out to some few persons, all in the name of you getting some cheap political score, not that the government is bringing it. So it's another means to siphon money. I feel the best way to do something like this is maybe if they can send the money direct to the masses account from the CBN instead of buying rights and all that. So I feel that is not a good thing to do at all. It's just another means to siphon money and get away with those kind of things. So
you're right, son. You know what really happened in the UK? Because we have the oil, because with this war in Ukraine, the price to fuel our house, it's not just what you guys are talking about, to pay electricity bill and pay for our gas, became a huge issue. You know what the government did? They sent the check to every home so that you can keep your home warm. You understand? They made sure every home in the United Kingdom, as long as you live within a certain low income, you get that check. And I got mine. So I was able to fuel you understand, Kenneth? That is on it. In fact, which we say is still a toughy ideology, but these people, they are rich. They have so many money saved over the years. If Nigerian government can afford palliative, we can understand. But doing it in this cheap manner.
What is the essence of the BVN we talk about? Why do we have BVN? Say, if you do not have BVN, your account will be closed. And every single Nigeria, we know that we have the people at the rural areas, they are not able to access, banks.
There are people that know them. Yes. There are people that know them. If you go to the local government, they know them. Don't we have kings? Our king know the local people. That's why I keep saying to them, if the local government chairman doesn't know them, the local chief and kings, they know the people there. If you reach them, the thing will get to those people. You understand? That's how you distribute things in communities. You understand? Where you think they don't have this kind of information. But again, my biggest anger with this government is really, I'm just saying, you were the one that blamed the former president. That's what I'm saying. Your new president that's able to open border for influx of rice, frustrating our local farmers. Is that an economic? Is that what we call palliatives?
And that is why you see some of these
analysts local farmers.
Your president is running out of ideas.
No, Kenneth said he's a very intelligent man. He went to Dubai. He went to Mecca. Kenneth, He's a very intelligent man. I want to address it too. He went to Mecca and he's signing infrastructure. He didn't tell us how we're going to make the rice, which is, he didn't go and tell how we're going to produce rice on our own. He has opened border. We have a challenge with food. He couldn't go and talk about the food. Sorry, daughter. He went there to talk about how they're going to bring infrastructure. And you know what, Kenneth? We will pay for the infrastructure. Those people will come and install it for us, and we will pay them with the small oil we have. And you say, oh, the government has done something great. That's why till today, look at this young man now. I'm sure if you look into his university, we have young people who can construct roads for us. Is it rocket science to construct roads, my people? Road. In those days, our parents, they clear road. If we're going to do it in another way, you understand? Must it be their way? And are you saying that our university cannot come up? Do you know what I asked that day? Are you saying that Nigerian university students cannot come up with insulin? Let's forget. Don't we have a research institute that can come up with something that will keep importing insulin for people having diabetes and may not be even be suitable for us? Black man different from Oyibo, and your weather, the temperature there is different from here. You guys have malaria. If malaria will kill everybody in the United Kingdom, if we have it, we don't have malaria here. There's nothing like malaria in the UK. We all die. In fact, we were thinking that even this COVID they are talking about is malaria. That's why when they took chloroquine, the thing go. Do you understand that Queen was solving some of the problem at a point? It was a confused sickness. It don't come and go. Nobody debates it. You understand? So, do we even have things suitable for us? And things like this you're about doing now, bringing rice, even as far to rice. How are we going to look for disease cure disease that is typical to us?
Chris, let me remind you that this government is barely 8 months in power.
You see now, 8 months are making terrible mistakes. And if he accepts,
Okay, now let's still say even the state governors that stayed there for like how many months, not squandering our billions, trillions. They are just there 8 months. Let's leave them. Maybe in the future they will gather money and give to us.
Yes.
Kenneth, please, let's move on to the next newspaper, and that will be the Guardian newspaper.
Well, Guardian is always good. Let's see what they have to say today.
And here the big headline says, amid heavy dockets, electoral cases overwhelm judges, justice system. And that's coming of the Guardian newspaper. And here we have another story that says, Rivers Assembly crisis persists as faction hold separate sittings. And you can find the story on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. And here we have another story that says, confusion as appeal court certified judgment uphold Governor Abba Yusuf's election. And you can find the story on page 27 of the Guardian newspaper. And here we have another story that says, APC warned of democratic cancer as NNPP backs article on merger. You can find that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And then we have another story that says, Adebanjo, Clark, and others tax Tinubu on implementation of 2014 confab reports. You can find that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And here we have another story that says, denying Kano, Zamfara, Plateau voters their mandate unacceptable. Obasanjo wants. You can find that story on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And here we have another story that says, LASG says procurement of 440 million SUVs, others in tandem with economic realities. You can find that story on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. And here we have the last story that says, Judge runs public against dropping charms in Lagos courtroom. You can find that story on Gosh, the these are all the stories we have this morning.
Only in Nigeria, imagine. I sit here most times and I'm
politicians, Sha.
Look at this. Judge not believe in. But Kenneth, you're a lawyer. Let me ask you this. I know there is one saying that in the courtroom they don't believe in how do you call it?
In jazz.
It's not recognized. There's no jazz.
It's not recognized. So what is the court not telling us? Judge wants public agent against dropping charms.
Thank you, Princess. If you look into this matter very well, you will see that it's at the customary court. Now, Chris, if you go to the customary court,
Customary court
at
may
different level.
it may
You will see
recognize.
a show that in fact, DSTV cannot pay for that kind of show. You will see someone that has a land case that will come to court with a native doctor just to influence. They believe that these things will work for them. Nigerians are so diabolic, so religious when it comes to stuff like this. You know, someone will come to a case, before they will answer, they will bring out a chalk, roll it over their head, because they believe that it will now confuse the judge to give a different ruling. You understand? So at the customary court level, it is a show when it comes to this kind of charm.
Yeah, but are we talking about customary court here? Because I want to be sure. But it will be fun. But what you see, this is what we say. The customary court understand the custom of the people, so they can deal with this kind of issue. So if they and why are they wanting them? Because that's why they are customary court. If it's the custom, if we understand that this is our tradition, that we are used to jazz, how can you stop us from using it?
Because they are distracting. It's a distraction.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you.
It's a distraction.
But
Sometimes
it would be sad if a magistrate court ever made this kind of statement. What are you talking about? It's not.
No, I don't even think you can access a magistrate court with stuff like that, because they have security. There are some level of screening.
But we saw this boy, your former president, presidential candidate. What's his name now?
Sorry. What's his name? The Sahara reporter.
Sahara reporter. Yeah, he came with.
The Sahara reporter. That was.
I'm trying to remember his because.
How come we forget his name today? He was on my show here. We almost fought. Okay.
The people's president.
Yes. So we saw him with his show of shame, with all those people following him to the court with all these. But that went to the High Court. I don't think they went there. They were sitting down. And I said, "Hello, we don't recognize this. Hello, you understand?" And that's why Nigeria. Anyway, nobody will stop you from practicing your religion.
Anyway, there's the main story. The big headline here is quite laughing. I actually laughed. Amid heavy dockets, electoral cases overwhelm judges, justice system, and you could see from the picture there. You could see the breakdown there. 346 judges drawn from various courts for electoral duties. 10 out of 21 appeals court justices started with 6,884 cases. I think that's where the tiredness is coming from, because look at all these cases from one country.
And these guys are someone that they just want to roll the dice.
I don't
They
know.
don't want to roll the dice. Someone they don't have a case. Let's be sincere. All these people have a genuine case. They have genuine cases. I doubt it, man. They don't have that kind of. But again, like what our able son said yesterday, these cases should be decided upon before
swearing in. So
you understand?
Don't distract us.
Exactly. Look at where how many years, how many months down the line, we're still talking about court cases.
Back and forth.
How many months? Look at Kano State Governor. He must have a plan. Now they take him out. Another one will come with his new ideas, taking the story to taking the state into another direction.
Kenneth, is it not the same governor that has been demolishing, buildings?
Yes.
In fact, is the caterpillar man in Kano State that woke up and decided to spoil all the wonderful projects that Ganduje did in Kano State. And it's a matter for another day. But Princess, it might interest you to see down there that he says that the fastest case from High Court to Supreme Court in Nigeria may take an average of 30 years. We're talking about political cases. There are cases that border around through justice, cases that seek through justice. We have people who be accused wrongly who are seeking retribution. We have cases of police abuse that are in court seeking damages to be paid. As they go from High Court, sometimes they have to get to Supreme Court. And in over 30 years, the person that's been molested is already dead. We have cases of rape where people are trying to seek justice because probably the person that perpetrated that is highly placed. So they keep jumping it around the courts. They have to move from High Court to appeal to everywhere to get to Supreme. But my challenge is this. Electoral cases in Nigeria, there should be a law that stipulates where it ends. I don't think electoral case should get to Supreme Court. What is it then? If it should get to Supreme Court, then there is no need for a tribunal to look into electoral matters. After the tribunal has done, you still have to go to appeal again. Is it a case of lack of faith in the judiciary system, or is it a case of see finish that we want to see finish where it will end? there should be a place where the buck stops. If it's at the tribunal, let it be at the tribunal. If it's at the appeal, let it be at the appeal. It should not be at the appeal. Every electoral cases should be handled at the tribunal, and it should be done before swearing in. If that is the mandate, it will be faster to assess, to be faster to do. But because the law allows them, of course, there's always a ground
to keep throwing dice.
Yes, ground for review. People will keep pushing cases even when they don't have a need to be there in the first place. So for me, the judges are overworked. Even Nigerian judges, for me, the justice system is understaffed. Because of, for me, I say it's because of the psychophancy of those that are already employed, that want to make sure that it's their son and it's their uncles and it's their children that will always end up in the justice system. But if it is an open and free and fair recruitment, Nigeria has young, vibrant people that can fill that position, just like myself, who are impartial, that can be there. You understand? So who are impartial like me, of course. There are people.
But I doubt it, too. I doubt it because you support Tinubu too much. You will be Tinubu. You will be Tinubu.
Anyway, we move to the spot and then to the discussions because of time.
Yes.
And I'm going to take just the headline from the Punch Sport Extra. This is the big story here. Missing links. How Osimhen trusts Ekon in this absence exposed Eagles' weaknesses against Lesotho and Zimbabwe. That story is on page 6 of the Punch Sport Extra. Another story says Joshua fires back as wider on page 2 of the Punch Sport Extra. But let's quickly take a look at the main headline here that says a missing link. Do you think, Kenneth, that it was, Osimhen's and troops, Ekon, and it is not appearing or not playing with them that actually caused, let's not forget also that Peseiro did say that, he blamed whatever happened between the Super Eagles and Lesotho and, of course, Zimbabwe on the energy of the players. Now, do you think this is due to, indeed, Osimhen not being in that field?
Peseiro has no grounds to say something like that. The energy that is lacking is the energy of the coach himself. A coach that does not attend our local league matches to see players. If Peseiro is up to his game, he should have been able to see replacement for Osimhen. Are we going to wait every year for an Osimhen or for an Ndidi or for a Mikel that's retired now? We should have contingency plans. That is how it works in football. You have a first 11, you have a second 11, you have a third 11. That is how it's played everywhere. When players from your first 11 are not fit, you should be able to put your hand into your second 11 and bring in the best replacement for those who are the first team. The problem we have with Nigeria is that we are so dollarificated in a naira economy. So we always look up to the foreign stars, and I understand where the paper is coming from, because no matter how you want to look at it, because these are the big performers you have in the team. When they are not there, the morale is down. The players playing will always feel like, they might not be able to do this job. So when a player is already lacking in self-belief, the player will always have little output to give on the field. But my point is this: we need to come back to a situation where we can craft our national team around our local stars, not because any player can be injured, but when you begin to look at your homegrown talent, it is not easy to replace. Osimhen might even not be injured. Sorry, Victor Osimhen, if you are watching this now, he might not be injured. He might be saving his leg, because that is where he's getting his 100 and something thousand pounds a week. And come and play for Nigeria and get injured, and nobody's going to pay him a damage. So his club might even tell him, hey, you are injured. The club might give him a dossier and say, you are injured. From our observations, medical report says you are injured. So that you will not come and play. So we must be able to build our national team around our home-based stars. If you do that,
are you saying no justice in this headline? But I do believe that if this guy, if Osimhen, you see, football, you need one player, to make the change. Sometimes you need one talented player. You see, sometimes I remember when Chelsea played Liverpool in an FA Cup. It was Drogba made the change. Now, sometimes you need that individual skills. When the chips are down, you see them. You see the people making the difference. I can tell you that if Osimhen was in that page, I bet something would have happened. You understand? These are some players you don't hold immediately. And in fact, his presence alone We make the whole team. See, there's one thing these players does. They're able to drag in all the they disorganize your defense. You understand? Like the days of Omakase or Coach, they would disorganize your defense. So because they're going to do one or two stupid things. They made the place porous. Osimhen would have been a good finisher, and I think we still need him. Kenneth, I understand that we need the local people. But again, I still want to let you know that these guys are not just foreign. No, they were Nigerian before they went foreign.
Yeah.
So they are still Nigerians, you understand? And whatever it is, they're still part of the Nigerian team. And they can do a lot for the Nigerian team if given the right incentive. We're only looking at what they are, that they are protecting themselves against injuries or stuff like that, what is paying them. They have right to do so. Why don't we think of how the government of Nigeria can actually help to encourage them that you are safe when you do this? Have you know this story? Yashiri Yakini died in chain. You didn't want to know them. How many Nigerian people that have served Nigeria are not doing well if they remain at home? Maybe that is one thing we should be addressing. Rather than saying that we should only use the local ones. Local ones is good to use. They are good to use, but hey, there will be a time where we need the foreign boys. Their experience, the kind of game they've played, you understand, may help us to actually play international matches. You don't see these boys are playing with these boys already here. So if we have maybe play England tomorrow, they know them, they play with them. You understand? All this experience is good for the national team. I don't think we should all do only local, but we should give the locals some chance. But definitely, these boys, they play a very vital role in that national team.
Anyway, Kenneth, we've seen that it will be said we should forgive them. So we keep our fingers crossed. And on the headline this morning too, you can see Simon Beck's Nigerians as well.
Yeah, I think that's
they're actually sorry.
Yeah.
But Kenneth, let me throw this. Who are we facing next?
Is it not South Africa?
It should be South Africa.
That is where my worry is. Anyway,
South Africa is not a challenge to Nigeria. None of this team.
Why you say that, sir? We saw the settle, we saw Zimbabwe. So
and they know.
Why should I not be worried?
It's obvious. No, what I'm saying is that if we're talking of a team that will be challenging Nigeria, you'll be talking of maybe something like Ghana and Ivory Coast. You understand?
South Africa has the best league in Africa.
Sir, South Africa should be worried.
They are the best team now.
The best league in Africa.
Best league is different from the best team. Since when South Africa have a national good football team?
Because Nigeria is
man, in fact, Nigeria is still rated highest among them in terms of the skill, the quality of player on the pitch.
Rated highest, but what is not happening with what is missing from the settle match and Zimbabwe match?
We can kick this coach in the ass, get the players now they're feeling sorry. But not to say to change our...
And Kenneth, don't forget yesterday on the paper that NFF officials did say they are stuck with Pesero. There's nothing they can do about Pesero for now. So we are here for a long time.
They are not being truthful. They are not being truthful because
if we need to, we don't need to. We're not going to.
If you fire him, do you have money to pay him off?
Someone offered him a contract.
Kenneth, we have one good slogan in Nigeria. Go to court. We fire him and we say,
thank you, Daddy Chris. Thank you, Daddy Chris.
They don't even have money to pay you.
Fire him. Let him go to court.
Fire him and we'll tell him go to court. Is it not what you will tell us? Is that not the Nigerian law?
We don't need to pay him off. We need to fire him. Let him go to court and bring the contract he signed that said that we have to pay him to disengage him. Because I believe if there was a clause to pay him to disengage him, then there are targets that he should have met for him to be returned in the first place.
It's because you're a lawyer, you're trying to twist this.
Mary, this is contract. In a contract, if you are bringing a clause for disengagement, there also has to be milestones that need to be met. So if it's not meeting the milestones, it is an automatic clause for disengagement. So in a case where he's losing back to back, he's drawing back to back, and someone is telling us we are stuck because we are stuck because they don't have enough money to pay themselves when we disengage Pesero. They are the ones sharing his salary with him, so they don't even want to disengage him and bring in someone that will not give them the cost that they are getting. So as far as I'm concerned, Pesero can be sacked overnight, just like the National State of Abuja. He will not have access to his office. Nobody will tell him to enter a plane and go back to Portugal. Let him meet us in court. We'll settle in court.
That's it. In fact, APC is very good at that. Go to court. Correct. But that's our slogan now. Go to
Go
court.
to court. No, and without evidence, you get split tire.
Anyways, we'll go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll go into the discussions. This will be a good place to wrap up the review segment. Of course, we already have Whisker Monday or seated. We're going to be looking into our institution, what's happening, especially with the student loan. We'll be right back after the break.
Are you a filmmaker in Abuja and its environ? Do you need a place for your music video, or you need a venue for your conference and even an editing suite for your post-production? Look no further. Our beautiful turret in Lokogoma has it all. We have a whole floor that consists of 3-angle lounge, a beautiful dining area, a large kitchen, a conference area that can comfortably accommodate 60 persons, and 5-bedroom adaptable for all kind of shoots. The good news is all is available at affordable price. And you know what? If you are a member of the Association of Movie Producers of Nigeria, you have 20% discount. So what are you waiting for? Hurry and contact us on the numbers on your screen now.
Hello, viewers. You're welcome back from that quick break. This is Wake Up Nigeria, of course, and we are. Let's go into the discussion of the day. We did see the president signing that student loan into bill, and of course, mixed reactions that followed thereafter. What's been going on with student, of course, and that particular bill? Now, I have with me this morning the national president, National Association of Delta State Students. He is Whisker Monday Ogenewari. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine, very fine. What about you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Like we see that our dear president did sign into law. How do you people feel about it? This student loan, we talk about that act, and we know that there has been mixed reaction thereafter. How do you feel about it, being the national president of the Association of Delta State Students? Let's start from there.
Okay, thank you for that question. First of all, when we saw on the news that was some months ago that the president have signed the student loan, it was like a welcome development to us. I got so many calls and so many messages that Mr. President, the president of the country have signed the student loan. I think you should do a publication to commend him and all that. But I said no. I want to see the eligibility. I want to see how effective. I want to see the impact of this loan on our students before we do such publication to commend him. Now, so when we look at the eligibility, the criteria for you to get this loan, we discover that it's not really a welcome development that we thought it should be. Because if you look at the criteria, like for example, like the first eligibility is that you must come from a family that earns nothing less than 500,000 naira per annum. That's in a year. That means you're saying that if you divide 500,000 by 12 months, you'll be getting nothing less than 50,000 naira. If I'm not mistaken, you get like nothing less than 50,000 naira. So, what was the minimum wage? Someone who is getting 50,000 naira or not up to 50,000 naira in a month, a family, both the father, the mother, both combined together, that makes up the family. So definitely they are earning more than 500,000 naira per annum. I think an average Nigeria family should be earning more than 500,000 naira per annum if the both parents are working. So that means that number one criteria can we make 90% of students not to be qualified for that loan, because if you look at it critically, you will discover that both father and mother should be earning more than 50,000 naira in a month. So in a year, they should be earning more than 500,000. So those um, students from such family will not be able to apply for this student loan. And again, that you have to provide a guarantor that we have to sign for you, someone that have 12 years working experience in this as a civil servant or a justice of peace or a lawyer. Now you discover that these days people find it very difficult to stand as guarantor for others that want to take loan or what have you, because the stories from others who have stand as guarantor for people to take loan has not, it have not always been a good thing, because by the end the person might just run away, the person might not meet up, then you the guarantor will not be the one to be held responsible looking for how you can pay a debt that you did not use, that you're not the one that used the money, someone else used the money, but because you stand for them as guarantor, you held responsible for it. So to get a guarantor for students to get this loan is a very difficult thing to do. And look at the criteria: 12 years in service, justice of peace, or a justice of peace. It's very, very difficult for students to get someone like to get people in that position to stand for them as guarantor. And if you even look at it in another way, if somebody who needs this loan, that the parent does not earn up to 500,000 in a year, how do you expect such person to get somebody who have been working in the civil service for 12 years to stand for them as guarantor, not one, two guarantor? So it's very, very difficult for our students, and I don't think for now, I don't think this loan whole thing is a welcome development. It's not, I don't think it will have a positive impact in our students. I don't think so, because of the criteria to access this loan.
Okay.
Yeah, that
All
was
right. That, I think that you made a very valid point, and I agree with you completely. You understand? I don't see every Nigerian that is a student is entitled to the loan. That's how it should be. And the issue of guarantor is shit because. But my only thing is, I hope you guys are comfortable with paying back if you get a good job, because that's the way you get. If we fight with the government, say, hey, government, give them loan, they need it. You understand? We even need to have children. Once you are up to 18 years old and you can get to the uni, your body shouldn't be on the parents anymore. You should be able to be getting your own money to run your life. So when you begin to work, I hope, young man, you'll be comfortable to say when the government say, pay the money back when you get a job of a good standard. Would that not be fair?
yes, for sure. That will be fair. Okay, if you look at this loan, it's the repayment plan is a good thing. Is okay. It will be fair to pay back actually, because look, if you look at how you have to pay back, the time frame you have to get a job after your service and all that. So it is you, the student, that wants to apply for the loan. You have to look at yourself that, okay, fine, I am ready for this, because nobody is coming to force you to go and get the loan. If you want this loan and you know that you can pay back, then you can go ahead and get it. So the repayment plan is on a good it's a good one. It's okay.
Can you take us through
Repayment,
that? I
repayment
was going to ask you that. How is the repayment plan like?
Okay, from what I saw in the news, that the repayment plan, after you have graduated and after your NYC, you when you get a job, then you pay. I think I'm not having 100% information on the repayment plan, but I'm aware that it is after you have graduated, after your NYC, when you have got a job, then you can start paying.
Fair enough. No, because you know why I'm so impressed with this. This can change our education system. You understand? If it's well practiced, I think everybody is entitled to it. You understand? They should get it, and if you finish, you understand, and you get a job, you pay this money back. instrumentally. In that way, the government invests in you. That not even government, Nigeria then invests in you, and in turn you invest in Nigeria. You understand? So that other people can get the same benefit. I think it's a fair deal. I really don't understand
Okay.
why this government has thought of this beautiful idea, choose to restrict it to people of a particular low income level. It doesn't make any sense. You understand? A child that is 18 years old should be on his own. Eh? Go on, son.
Okay, in addition, I think a loan like this will make a particular student to take his academic more serious because you know where you're coming from. You know
Yes.
that you are being given a loan to
Yes.
further your education. So you will not go to the classroom or go to the campus and just go there for fun and all that. When you know that if you are unable to graduate,
Yes.
there is a problem.
It's a problem
So
for
I
you.
think it will help people that wants to apply for this loan. It will get them on their feet and make sure that they are studying very well,
Very good point, son.
following
You know
up.
what they do here? This is very good. You made that observation. If you get a student loan in the UK, they will record. In fact, you begin to mark attendance in class. If you're not 100% attendance, they will give you they will pay your allowance. You understand? So
Yeah,
you are help you to, because you don't go, most of them go to school and become court. No, you're gonna go to class, you're gonna study, and if you fail, we know you genuinely fail. But your attendance must be 100% for you to assess your allowance. You understand? Because this money will not be given to you once. In fact, the tune is it would have changed our education system, because with the loan, I don't even think one person, no, everybody should be it. So with that loan, university can then fund themselves. So the whole story of
yeah.
us going on strike should be cancelled, because when you pay your school fees, there's enough money in the
Money to go
school.
around.
Can
So
I?
that
Can
we don't need
I
government should not be paying.
Okay. I don't think I don't for me I don't know. I don't think student paying school fees has anything to do with ASU going on strike. ASU
Say
going on
that.
strike has to do with their business with the government.
And that's why we say
And that's because
that's why it's
it
because
went
the
down
government
to
is
funding,
paying them.
it went down to,
You understand? Yes. Yes.
money issue.
Daddy,
So
Chris, let me briefly throw my weight. I've just been a bit calm, and I really want to say one or two things. Firstly, before you say I'm campaigning for my president, let me remind you that this was the first bill Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed into power as the president of Nigeria. So that should at least give us a view of his ideology when it comes to education as a policy in Nigeria. Let me take you back, sir, to history. That we had a president, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who was once a lecturer in the University of Port Harcourt and other reputable institutions. He was a president for about 6 years. He never thought about a student loan. His ideology of fixing the education system was to give money to his old colleagues in ASU, pumping money to them, which of course they can't even account. Let us leave that. Then we got to a presidency of General Buhari, who most said that he got there with a NEPA bill, not a certificate. Let's not go there. And at the end of his regime, we had in-season strikes by ASU over IPPS and non-payment of salary and non-funding of the universities. And then we had a president that came in, and the first thing he did was to generate the student loan. For me, I don't think the money is too small. But let us give kudos to those that deserve it. The man has tried. I was expecting all this while I've kept calm. I was listening to the president. Mr. President, thank you, of the Delta State Students Union. I was expecting to see where you would tell me you had led a delegation or a protest to the Delta State government, asking them to replicate such plan at the state level. You waste our time. We are blaming the federal government, but at the state level, sir, Delta State has over 200 billion naira that they spend every year. It takes nothing. It takes absolutely nothing for the state governor to bring out 5 billion naira to pay loan for students, or to provide a loan, or to fund the students, to ask them to pay this money when they graduate and they work. We will not take all our time.
I hear what you're saying.
Sir, I'm still coming, sir. He talked about the federal government saying 500,000 naira, family earning, and the rest. These are issues the members of House of Representatives, those that will consent to this bill, those that will, address it, that will modify it to become a law. These are the things they can fix. But let me remind you, sir, when you go to the loan apps, in fact, over the past few months, I used to receive calls. Some students I know as friends, they will go and take loan and they will not pay. So financially, Nigerian youths are not seen as very, 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 very prudent when it comes to paying of loans. There are a lot of mobile banking apps that they've taken so much loan. You see messages tell you this guy is dead, this guy is a thief, because they borrow money they could not pay. So you might want to understand, sir, the reason for these stringent conditions. I do not support it, but there are reasons. You know, this boils down to financial laws and financial regulations when it comes down to loan taking. Even if you go to a normal bank, sir, to go and take loan in Nigeria, they will ask you to bring your father's ID card, bring your mother's date of birth, your mother's maiden name.
Kenneth, this is not a bank loan, Kenneth.
Yes,
This is not a bank loan.
it's still a loan. It's still a loan. So these are the financial regulations we have in the
I
Nigerian
hear what
bank
you say. Kenneth, because I'm so used to the system where this works here, it saddens my heart that this is the approach we used to practice such a unique idea. Because what will happen is the student that gets the money. He decides which school he want to go to. This is what happened. By the time your school fees is paid directly to the school, you know what you do? Is the school begging student. Student now shop for, is school shopping for student. JAMB will be cancelled. You want to go to school, you get your loan. You know what? The loan is waiting for you. Nigeria, you see, when you put that money into the society, the money actually go back to the uni. And the uni come back, pay you back. What is the loss there? Because you give the student the money, you pay their school fees. So you pay school fees to the school. The school in turn will pay you tax. You control this money. So and it is run by you being a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which we have you. You have a national identity card. That is your identity as a Nigerian. And we hold you accountable for that. How can it be a problem to give loan to our children who will in turn feed us tomorrow? Because this is the beauty of it. By the time every student now have the opportunity to go to uni, those that want to go now go. You might think it's a waste. We will not have these challenges of insecurity we are having now. Because many would have empowered themselves through the university education. And it will be left for jobs. Kenneth, you might think it's wrong. Now the West is looking for young people. In fact, they are looking for brains to take out because they have old population here. The only reason people are going through the sea is because they don't go through the right channel to come to Europe. They need workers. And let me put another job. Do you know, I live in this country now. If you guys heard me just now, my phone just rang. My provider is Talk. If I pick up that customer service, people talking to me are from India. Meaning the cost of labor here is so much that they contracted that job out to India, sometimes in South Africa. If we have intelligent young people who are graduated, they can run customer services that will make big amount of money. In the UK, you know why they are contracting it out? If I do that job in the UK, it's about £2,000 a month. They can give it to somebody in Africa for £1,000. £1,000 is 1.4 million today. It's a good job. Do you understand? Even if you pay people 400,000 naira, I'm sure our graduates will do it. And in turn, they will not be paying back their loans.
Exactly.
It's a win-win situation for the government. I don't know why it is so hard to invest in students and they have it so much convenient to buy that beautiful, your first lady car.
SUV. It is a renewal agenda that initiated this. So we'll do more. We'll do more.
Let's praise the right thing. I commend the president too. This is the best loan, the best idea I've ever heard. That's why I thank him for that. Because he has been around. I know he has a lot of guys in UK advising him, which is a beautiful idea. But let's
okay. I want to respond to what he said about as the president of Delta State students that we should lead a protest for the state government to give loans to state students. You know, at first, no one led a protest to the federal government to give loan to students.
Thank you.
Okay, and mind you, in our state, Delta State, our state government have been paying bursary to students over the years now to support their academic. That bursary payment is being made every year to our students. Though the amount it's small, but we have also engaged government to consider an upward review, of which the Commissioner of Higher Education have informed us that the governor is already making plans towards increasing the amount that they are paying to Delta State students. Now, this Delta State student is not only student that study in Delta State. Delta State student is all students. If you are from Delta State, you are schooling any state in the country, and even in diaspora, this bursary is being paid to you. So in our state, we do receive bursary yearly from the state government to support our academic pursuit. So I just want to inform you on that. Okay?
And it's quite interesting that if there should be scholarship for some people, you understand? In the UK, there's still scholarship. There are some bursaries. If you are doing so many things, you apply to bursaries now for whatever course. You understand? Encourage it. This is what the government does sometimes. Sometimes government may intentionally begin to encourage lawyers, and or they want more teachers. They begin to pay some stipends to them to encourage people to study the course. That's what government does. That is about government policies. Connect. What is most important is the fundamental one. Yes, go on, sir.
Okay. In the aspect of scholarship, in Delta State, the state government have been giving scholarship to first-class graduates to study, to further their education, to do their masters in abroad. But recently, that particular scholarship has been stopped, and we are already engaging the new government. You know, we have a new government in the state, so we are already engaging the new government to consider bringing back that scholarship. Because the reason why they stopped that scholarship is because some students, after sending them to abroad, they get there, start doing something else, leaving the purpose of which they are sent there for. So we are already engaging the state government to consider bringing it back for our first-class graduates, because that's also serves as a means to encourage.
We don't have the money to send them abroad, son. They should study the masters in Nigeria. I want them to be yes, they should do it there. They study here. Yes, that is better than what you guys are studying there. Let us declare. Understand? Let us have
that's a nice idea.
Yes. They should. In fact,
yes, I think maybe I will have to add that to our,
yes. I think if
and our request when we're meeting with the government.
PhD, you understand? In some cases, if you have first class, you can do PhD. You can even skip masters. And the good thing you said, son, is it's very good that we all agree here that the student loan is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
And that we should encourage it. Maybe the government will look at it a little bit better, because it's something that is worth looking at, President.
I think the federal government at this point should consider a review on the eligibility of getting the student loan. They should consider
and all those ones should be scrapped. Those are not, like I said, as long as because government is going to make money from it. If government does it well, they'll be making money, because when you begin to pay back your loan, you pay with some 0%, some little percentage of the money, and the money is coming back, and the government is gaining because people are trained. Now the students are happy to pay their lecturers who was giving a problem. How can it not be? It's a win-win for everyone. You understand? Rather than waiting, because you may think that the first 2 years is painful, the first 10 years will be painful, but by the time they graduate and they start working, you begin to earn back, and that go back into the student loan purse, and that thing begin to run itself on its own. You understand? So any government that have a long-term plan for the people will always jump on this, and it shouldn't be too difficult to run. Young man, it's so interesting to have young people like you. You are the future. Don't forget, we are going. It's your time to get the right ideas and do the best for a country like which is really promising. And you guys are the hope.
Well, thank you so much, Viscount Monday Ogenewire, for being on the show today. We appreciate your time. And of course, we're going to bring you here again. Let's see the progress. And because you did say that, let's hope that, like Kenneth said, that the lawmakers will review all that, very stiff measures of taking the loan. So let's see if the student can actually have a soft landing so that they can actually assess the loan. It's not about giving out the loan, but how accessible is this loan? And like you said also, that will make students to be on their feet, and that is what I love to take home for me here.
Yes,
it's not just taking the loan, but knowing that, okay, I'm indicted, and then
I will get the money if I don't go to class. No,
yes.
You don't even wait for the indictment. I will get the money. You see, the money should be given to everyone. Yeah, I will get it. I won't get my allowance if I don't go to class. So your attendance become more important than any other thing. So you begin to see changes in the system, and the money, it will flood the system. I hate free school. There's nothing like free school. No free lunch. It can be poisonous. not this palliative they're talking about. So give us something like this. President, come up with beautiful ideas. Give loan to those that need it. You understand? I don't even mind if we give loan to people who want to do good businesses and you're able to monitor it and get the money back. The government does that in different ministries, like the agri loan, which is 0.6%, which is encouraging. You know, if the people don't pay, the government has done something. We monitor your farm. We will be giving the money to the farm, not you. We will come to your farm and fund your farm. You see, this is exactly what I would do if I'm the ministry. I would say, show me your land. What do you want to do? We'll go and clear the farm for you. You understand? We send money for the clearing. We will see it, then we'll pay money for, you understand? We monitor it and we'll get our money back. If our government will be making money from farmers, if the ministry that is lying down there just do the needful by doing the correct thing, by monitoring the money given to them and getting the money back with interest. You see, every ministry will be making money.
Anyway, that would be a good place to wrap up the show. Thank you so much, Monday, for being on the show. We appreciate you. Hope to have you next time.
And keep up the good work, son. It's good to see a young man like you. You understand? We didn't have time for you much today. Now I would have loved to know what your association is doing and all that. Maybe next time.
We'll bring you back on that issue. Because of time, we need to go now. We have other programs coming up. And thank you, Kenneth and Mary, our dear Kenneth of APC of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Thank you for being on the
Kenneth of the Renewed Hope agenda. Renewed Hope.
Hey, Abia, if I hear. Mary, thank you for being on the show, and that Chris as well. Hopefully, we do this again tomorrow. Before we go, don't forget our so much Srtv packages. We have the travel tours with your tickets to anywhere in the world, and of course, we have a magazine for those 30K. You can showcase your brand, your product, services to the world. And don't forget our event coverage as well. Anything you thought you're doing, just call us and of course we'll be there to cover it for you. And our renters as well. We rent equipment and of course our production outlet. It's a beautiful place. You can get it wrong with us. So just walk in and do your production. It's just a call away and we'll be there for you. Don't forget also to follow us on our social media handles. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and of course subscribe to our YouTube. Invite somebody to the page as well. Leave us with your comments. We'd love to hear from you. Remember that peace is priceless. Let's always give peace a chance. And Kenneth, please, as we're going off now, go and tell your Baba to do the needful. These children, they need a soft landing. Please, that's the only thing I need you to do with your Baba this morning. I don't know how you pass that message. After all, you are their advocates. So get across to them for us, please. And of course, the border issue is a serious issue. In fact, we're going to discuss it as a topic because you can't just open border now and you're saying let us breathe and we're not suffocating rather. So I don't understand where that breathing is coming from. I'll see you guys tomorrow. May yours truly, Princess Kese.
Bye. Inform them. Yeah? Drop the message in my phone. I will drop.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me? What's the name? What are they wasting?
I'll send the message.